I open as a bit by the 80s. Today we're going to be getting a little wacky with the audience here, as we do a very sensual review on the 2021 remake Seasonal Visions Wacky Mole Clown. Now this animatronic, I'm going to ditch this voice. Now this animatronic came out, obviously, as I said, in 2021. Thus far, it's one of the only and the first animatronic that has been actually shipped out and is in stores. When the stores opened, Wacky was pretty much the only new one who was there for this year. Besides Night Stalker in some locations, but other than that, that is literally it. The rest of them are from last year. Oh, and Mr. Howell, but who cares about Mr. Howell? He was a remake of a prop from 2013, going by the same name, and that one was objectively dog shit. It was essentially just a reskin of Limb Ripper, which came out the year prior to that in 2012, and was also remade in 2017. It looked the same as this, but everything about its quality was worse. Now, in appearance, this looks essentially the same as that. The only difference is that the clothes are better, the face is bigger, the shoes are plastic as opposed to the weird cloth, and that's it. There's really no other differences, which is nice. I think that's a really good way to do a remake as opposed to the Uncle Charlie remake. You can change up the looks if you do it well. I think Flesh Eating Zombie really nailed that with his general details, and I feel like it was probably pretty easy to nail that with him since he's, a zombie. It's easier to do. It's easier to change up his looks a little bit without it ruining the character. But Charlie, they kind of fucked him up from 2010. But then again, I don't really like the 2010 one regardless, so I don't mind, but that's the main complaint that I see a lot of people have, and I feel like it's been remedied with Wacky Mole. Anyway, back to the 2013 one. That one had dimmer lights in the eyes that were more green than yellow. The movement, as opposed to being more of a constant motion, it was a slower twitch, which is the same movement that was used on the Flying Witch from 2009, Grinning Gertrude from 2009, Uncle Charlie from 2010, but only their heads up to that point, and then in 2012, it was used on Limb Ripper, the werewolf. And then in 2013, they recycled it into Wacky Mole. His arms were also spring-loaded back then, so whenever he would twitch, he would kind of shake around a little bit, which a lot of people enjoyed. I enjoyed it as well, but I still prefer the movement of this one. It's much faster, which I enjoy. And as opposed to him stopping every now and again, he just is always moving, and he still jiggles around a lot. Like, the hammer arm especially still shakes around a fair bit. And also he has a relay switch now, which thank God. I hate when the original one would reset to the side. The original one also sounded like a McDonald's order speaker. The speakers back then for SVI props were infamously bad. Thankfully now they obviously were the first ones to put the newer, bigger speaker modules into their props. Bruh. And he's very loud, of course. Along with the appearance and mechanics being a whole lot worse in the 2013 one, the sound quality was terrible, the motion sensor was obviously awful, and the eye lights even were really weird looking, and he was also very gaunt. Like, you know how Face Ripper is very skinny over there? The original Wacky was kind of more similar to that. This one's a little bit more bulky, and he sticks out a lot more, which I really like. He's obviously not the most muscly of guys, and I think that makes sense, but he at the very least looks more like he's actually gonna whop you over the head. He was very hyped this year. People have been asking for the last couple of years for a remake of him since technology had gotten much better, and this is a really, really fun character in general. I love this guy's design. Now, let me first state that an animatronic doesn't have to move around a lot to be really good. A lot of the times, an animatronic's amazingness comes within the looks, the character, and the implications. Implications are one of the best things about horror. For example, Face Ripper. What the fuck happened? What caused him to be able to do that? just thinking about that whole story is, I think, one of the greatest elements of what makes these things scary. And I think Wacky Mole does that very well. He looks so cartoonish, and I love it so much. There's not a hint of realism, down to the point where he has 4 fucking fingers on each hand. I really like that detail. I think the horror in that sense comes from, how the fuck does this guy exist? Why is this a real dude? I feel like I'm in danger. Why is this real? That is also amplified by, of course, the massive grin, which, holy shit, that smile is terrifying, along with the eyes, which, of course, are, like, the only SVI props that, he's the only SVI prop that doesn't have, like, the more detailed eyes like Charlie does, at least as far as I know, as of this year. His face is also latex, covered over the, like, plastic skeleton type thing, which is good because the original one was just a really thin plastic, and this one, it being latex, it makes it so that it's able to look a lot more detailed and real, and, like, yeah, I don't know, there's a lot more depth to it, and I really like it. And it's really good latex. It's not going to dry rot, at least if you don't, like, leave it in the sun for 10 days. But anyway, yeah, he's a really good quality prop because, of course, it's newer seasonal visions. I love this guy so much. He doesn't move around as much as other ones, but the movement that he does have is, of course, the side-to-side torso movement, which I think fits perfectly well with him. I, again, love his looks, and I think that's what most of his effect comes from, and I enjoy that very much. Without further ado, I will activate him. Little bitch, activate the button. Come on, little bitch.
Step right up, boys and girls. Who's next to get walloped by my hammer? I'll be the first on your block to say, Wacky Mole, club me over the head.
One thing I love about him is his voice and his sound design. It makes him sound genuinely deranged, and I love that a lot. He's supposed to be an insanely unstable guy. He hit a bunch of children over the head with a hammer. Speaking of the hammer, holy shit, how many children's skulls did he have to crush to get that much blood on it? That's terrifying when you think about it. Anyway, if my little bitch would go and do his job once again.
I just love hitting you bozos with my hammer. You better watch out, or I'm gonna whop you over the head, too. Oh, please, come a little closer. Yeah.
Press the button again, or else I will whop you over the head.
Bad Halloween costumes make me crazy. They make me wanna pummel things with my hammer again. I think I'm going crazy again.
I'll zoom in on his face for this last one.
Step right up, boys and girls. Who's next to get walloped by my hammer? I'll be the first on your block to say, Wacky Mole, club me over the head.
Yes, good prop. I love this prop a lot. He is, I believe, 210? Yeah, he's 210. With a coupon, it's like 180 if you get the 25% off one. And he's really good for what you get. He's obviously built like a tank because, you know, he's new SVI and they're really fucking good. He's really loud. His sensor, holy shit, he sees me from across the room sometimes and it actually scares me. And yeah, if you can, definitely pick this guy up. He's in, I'm pretty sure, every single Spirit store unless he's sold out. I remember this, I got him the first time I actually went to my Spirit this year, and he was, of course, the only one there other than Night Stalker and a broken Mr. Howell, because all of them are broken. Holy shit, that prop is fucking shitty. And now he was gone. The second time I went there, I picked up my Hauntress, which I will review in...
What the dog do?
That's his dick. And I went there, and all the Wackies were out of stock, and the display one was gone. Actually, in that entire display section, the only animatronic there was Harvester of Souls. Yeah, get this guy if you can. If you can't, then I'm gonna wallop you. You're gonna get bonked over the head. Okay? You'll be the first on your block to say Wacky Mole, club me over the head. Alright? Except instead of Wacky Mole, it will be me doing the clubbing, and you being the head. Now, my final word before I leave, Wacky's good. Wacky's good. Just stay over there once you activate it so we can do the rest of the phrases. Oh, damn!
Come a little closer.